take any time. You go in there each round and you take each rep serious. I'm not saying you're not going to screw up. It happens. I hit every day and I miss hit 15, 20, 30, 40 balls sometimes. But that doesn't mean I'm not focused. I'm trying to get back on track as soon as possible. But I want you to have work ethic and focus work takes you so much further than just relying on pure talent. Because what you see, all the levels we reach, I talked to Coach Avery too, we're so much more than talent. There's so many dudes. You should see some of the dudes we're competing against. I have no business getting hits off some of these dudes. Their stuff is just gross. But I will step in that box and I will out-compete anybody. I know he's the same way on the mound. There's guys with stuff way better than him. There's guys that his stuff shouldn't get out, but he's going to put his foot down. Put his foot down and he goes, I'm just going to out-compete you right here. That's half the battle. That's baseball. Talent isn't everything. The big field could chew you up real quick if you just rely on the talent that got you through the small field. There's such a value in just saying, I am going to focus on each rep. I am going to outwork each and every one of you in here. Compete amongst each other. Compete. There's so much more value within that rather than saying, I'm going to swing, screw it, because I used to launch balls out of North End. That doesn't last. Coach Manny told the last group, and he can talk, and teams I played on, wasn't, again, not the most talented, but I was the most competitive out of anybody. And that's why I'm where I'm at. And I don't want you guys to think I was just God-given. Like, I wasn't a good baseball player. I still don't think I'm a good baseball player. I have so much more room to grow. But it doesn't mean I'm going to work every single day to get to where I want to be. Wherever that is for you guys, whether it's baseball, life, any other sport, it doesn't matter. There's so much more than talent. There's so many dumb people that become doctors because they decide one day, I am going to just put my nose in this book and outstudy people. They might have been a 2.0 student. Then one day something clicks. They want to do something. They're passionate about something. And they say, screw it. I am going to hit these books harder than anybody. Sure, one naturally smart guy might just have to study 5 hours for a test. This guy's going to put in 20 hours because he knows that's what it takes for him to be successful.
And when Coach talks about effort, it's not strictly the number of reps we're getting in. It's not getting in there and swinging as many times as you can. It's the focus you put into each rep. Go in with emphasis. We talked about it when we had the video up today, talking about our lower half. You guys went into your front toss and your T-work with an emphasis going into that set. Like, this is what I'm going to focus on in that rep. And that's going to be a quality set if you have that intention and that focus in mind. Like he said, it is a game of failure. We fail all the time. What separates the good players from the great players is how quickly we can make adjustments. And how do you make adjustments? I see this with a lot of young players, and it's something I struggle with myself. It's that time in between the swing. It's that time in between the pitch. Where is our mind going? Are we telling ourselves we stink, we suck, we're stupid? Like, a lot of us get to that place, right? It's not a helpful place. It's not a productive place. When we take a bad swing, it's just information, right? It's a good time for us to take a step back, refocus. What is my intention during this rep I'm doing, right? Refocus on that one thing you're trying to accomplish during that set. And the best thing you can hear from one of the coaches, I heard Matt say it to a couple of guys today, nice adjustment, right? That means we're making progress, right? You hear nice adjustment, that means you failed, you recognize where it went wrong, and you made the adjustment. That will always separate the good players from the great players, right? The guys who can adjust pitch to pitch are the ones that are successful, right? Because if you have these intentions during your drill work, when it comes to the game, and you're down 0-2 in a count, or you go 3-0 on the mound, right? We're not going to that place where we say, oh, I stink, I'm stupid, dad or mom's gonna be mad at me after the game, right? We're trying to correct on the mound, on the fly, at the plate. We're trying to apply those corrections. So if we go into each rep we do with a good intention, that's going to get us to a place when we're in the game, we're not thinking about our mechanics, we're thinking about how do I win this at bat, right? And that's where we all want to be as hitters and as pitchers. In the place where we're focused in that moment on how do I win that at bat, right? So when we do practice stuff, a lot of it is mechanical based, and it's about, the certain positions we're trying to get to, and all that is really good. That's why we try and keep our focus there. But when it comes to the game, that mindset we take during practice of having intention and focus with each rep is going to translate to the game when it's time to compete.
Me and Coach Avery sat here right in your shoes. And I'm sure I'm responsible for some of the gray hairs on Coach's head, I guarantee it. But one thing I bet you he could say about me, about Coach Avery, and a lot of guys we grew up with, whether we sucked that day, whether we were great that day, we showed up, we competed our asses off. and we gave full effort, full focus, 24/7. We were beating teams that had way more talented guys. But if you go in there and just learn how to compete in front toss, compete off the tee, compete in BP, compete when you're playing basketball with your friends, you'll be successful. That's the most important thing that he needs to realize. That talent gets you so fucking far. The ability to compete takes you so much further.
Yeah, and you guys have to remember, you're only here for, what, 4.5 hours a week? That means you're getting maybe an hour of swings in, and that's not even you actually getting swings in, that's you standing around watching other people get swings too. You're maybe working out for 30 minutes a week, getting ground balls for an hour a week. The same thing, it's not you always getting the reps in, it's you standing around watching. So you gotta take everything, right, with the most amount of focus to make it the most efficient. And that's not even saying like you have to come in outside, because you do, because 4.5 hours of work is not enough. If you really want to be good, you got to make this your job. Not saying that it has to be boring or a chore, but think about it. A job, people work 40 hours a week, right? 4.5 hours is not near that. So you're never going to be great if you only work 4.5 hours a week. You got to take it upon yourself to get the extra work in on your own time, whether it's at home, here, outside, wherever. All right, Manny was talking about throwing to a brick wall earlier. You guys could do that sometime, right? I used to do that. I'm sure you guys used to throw to a brick wall at some point. You guys got to take it upon yourself to get the extra work in. And it shouldn't even be called extra work. It should be mandatory work in your own eyes, because that's what you need to do to really be good. And that's for everything. That's for working out. That's for ground balls, hitting, throwing, whatever. Because we're here to set the foundation for you guys and to give you the most out of this facility. But it's never going to take you all the way. Because all of us have spent way extra time, way more time outside of the facility. Because I know me and Batten didn't even have this, right? We didn't even have this, so we couldn't even use it. So we spent way more extra time outside on fields, whether it was raining, cold, whatever, to get our work in. And that's not something that we think that a lot of kids these days do. So if you really want to be different, you got to start doing that.
Last thing, I think one of the most valuable things I saw today was Manny telling you guys to come ask Matt or Orlando a question. I think that's something that isn't utilized enough around here, is you guys coming to us with your questions on how you want to get better. Obviously we have 20, 30 guys we're looking at during the course of a practice, but I guarantee you, if you come to us, step aside and ask us a specific question, we're going to give you our focus in that moment, give you everything we can, and then that's how you're going to help launch your game to the next level. So keep asking us questions. We're resources here for you guys, and we're only here to help.
So now we're going to go into our workout, right? We're going to go into a workout. So I think the best thing to do is to make sure we're focused, right? Focus on what we're doing individually. We're going to rotate through 4 stations, all right? And let's get the most out of it.